everybody. Happy Friday, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the PHNX Suns Podcast. Was that a little frog in my throat? Leave me alone.
How's it going? It's the tone too, though. What's up, everybody?
She's like doing her Jim Rome impersonation. What's up, everybody? Rack 'em.
Listen, it's not my fault. I was crying 10 minutes ago.
You guys want to speak? You guys want to sing "Take Me Out to a Ball Game"? Sling blade. Anybody want to share a smoke with me on this Friday?
I hate all of you. Just so we're aware. It's not my fault. I was literally crying 10 minutes ago because I found out that Saul was trying to do a Jello shot out of a syringe and didn't take the lid off and it exploded all over him.
It was dark in the club, damn it!
Like the mental image in my head.
I was squeezing the shit out of it.
Crying all over
It just
again.
busted everywhere.
You're making that a gift, and it's gonna be so that is going to be the worst meme ever on the internet. Holy hell!
I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
I got juice all over Zach. Like
No.
it was just,
God.
it was hard. We
Poor
had a lot
Zach.
of cleanup.
Like, tell me that's
Poor
not the
Zach.
funniest mental picture that you
No,
can
I don't ever want that mental picture.
Yeah, just Saul trying to take a Jello shot out of a syringe and it exploding everywhere.
boy.
Unbelievable.
It's the funniest thing in my mind. I don't know.
Actually
Happy
crying.
birthday, Jay.
Oh my god.
Espo, you want to lead this show real quick?
Hey,
Now I'm
everybody.
crying again.
Hey.
It's a Friday. Let's talk some Suns. All right. I don't know where we're going. I'm not looking at the rundown.
We
We're
have
gonna
coaching
talk about,
updates.
yeah, the Phoenix Suns coaching search continues.
Holy
We've got
shit.
more updates for you guys. This one was a tweet from the Athletic NBA from Shams Charania. Said, Nick Nurse is expected to begin his formal process with meetings with the Bucks, Suns, and Sixers.
Oh, we did him dirty with this photo. It looks like a syringe of Jello
Those were his-
shots just
That's his
exploded.
vinegar strokes.
Oh my god.
His Jello shot just exploded.
What is happening?
So we heard earlier, I think it was earlier this week, Gambo had reported Nick Nurse not on the table, right?
Right.
Not going to happen.
Yep.
Well, he walked that back today.
Okay.
So I guess Nick Nurse is a possibility, but to me, with what we heard out of Toronto, that he kind of lost the locker room. There was some tension between him and players.
Where have I heard that
How
before?
I don't
many
know.
players? How
I
many
don't know.
players?
Where
One
have I
is
heard that
probably too
before?
many at this point. You've got a 2-year runway here. Maybe Nick Nurse is the guy, maybe he's not, but I think you got to go through a pretty intensive interview process and hit every person you know in that Toronto organization to understand what the real situation is and what has been kind of overstated, I think.
Yeah.
It's an unreapering. Is what it is.
Unreapering. Okay.
According to Hello.
All right. I'm good with
Does
that.
that mean it's a zombie? That's what hello is. So zombie? Do we have the Reaper and then do we have the
Zombie rumor, it
living
comes
dead?
back from the dead.
Man.
I think we should make that a thing. I'm curious what you guys think about Nick Nurse just as a whole. I know, Gerald, you and I talked a little bit about this earlier in the week, but Saul and Espo, because there's a lot of conversation on Suns Twitter and just in general around the NBA of a lot of teams sleeping on Nick Nurse as a potential option for not just the Suns head coaching position, but any of the ones that are open right now.
Colts 23, that's a lie because Kevin Durant was quite fond and had high praise for Nick Nurse, actually. So that's not true. I don't know how to feel about Nick Nurse because I do think that there is something to be said about when you have an opportunity and you're in the middle of it and then get fired, then you reflect, you think about the things that maybe you did wrong, the things you wish you could have corrected, the way you would have approached things differently, so on and so forth. And, you know, there could be a little bit of improvement in that regard. But, yeah, I don't, I'll say this. I don't think I know enough about Nick Nurse to make a judgment either good or bad. I would still want to hear some things or talk to more people from Toronto specifically that were around that team a lot more to kind of get a pulse of what was really going on.
One thing I hate when you bring up Nick Nurse is the people like, well, he only won because of Kawhi. Well, what coach wins because just him and he has no talent? Like, of course. And he'd be coming to a place with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. It's not like the cupboard's bare and you need him to make magic with a 19-win team from last year.
Who's the last coach to win a championship without a superstar?
The Detroit
Pistons.
Pistons.
Yeah, I would say with Larry Brown. That's the last
historical outlier.
Yeah, you haven't seen that and you hadn't seen it really previous to that. So, I don't have any problem with the fact that he won because a superstar got traded there and he got the most out of that group. So it really comes down to, do you believe that for the next 2-3 years, he's the voice in that locker room that motivates that group and gets them over the hump and can provide an offensive system that, that really can feature what Devin Booker and Kevin Durant do well? If you believe that that's the case, the other stuff's just noise, right? When it comes to a guy like that, if you don't think he can be listened to over those 2 years, then he's not your guy. It's that simple.
Yeah, I feel like Nurse, what he brings tactically and being able to make playoff adjustments, he's a very good coach. I don't think anyone's overlooking him. If you look at the list of teams that he's being interviewed for, like it's clearly the top of the top.
Not teams, fan
jobs.
bases.
I don't feel like fan bases are either. I feel like a lot of people want Nick Nurse here. A lot of people in Milwaukee want Nick Nurse. I feel like he's the hottest commodity that's available right now, because Ty Lue is not technically available to our knowledge so far. And I feel like out of the available coaches, if it's not Ty Lue, I feel like I would probably lean to either Nick Nurse or Kevin Young for the Suns job. But yeah, the Toronto thing, the way that ended does kind of concern me from what I read and from what I've been checking up with from people on Raptors Twitter. It was like half the locker room or a good amount of the team that just didn't like him by the end of that tenure, didn't want to speak to him that extent.
Which half, though? I mean, if it's
the bottom half of the roster, I don't really care.
I need more details.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe a change of scenery helps. Maybe it's all about personalities. There's just not a lot that we know about the situation, but that is a little bit concerning because, like we talked about, as much as the culture needs to take a backseat to X's and O's, strategy, all that stuff, being able to handle personalities like Devin Booker, like Kevin Durant, that matters in a job like this, especially with a lot of new guys most likely coming to the roster soon.
My fear with the Kevin Young thing, you mentioned him, is that just handing the reins of this decision over to Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and those guys, because we've seen time and time again when you do that, it doesn't necessarily work out when you just give in to your guys to get their guy, and that's my big fear with Kevin Young. Is that just your superstars pulling the strings here if you go that route?
It's hard to say because like I've said, you never know with a first time coach until they get in that position. You never know what kind of head coach they're going to be. But he could also be another Nick Nurse. Like Kevin Young is in the exact position Nick Nurse was in when he took over the job. And that worked out really well for Toronto. So it's tough to say.
Yeah, Kevin Young, if he got the job, then you got to assume that obviously Kevin Durant and Devin Booker were on board. Sure. But more importantly, you saw enough things in him during his time here to believe that he could have the answers to what the problems are with this organization. I would wager to say that I don't think that that's the case. Just because when Willie Green was here, you kind of knew like he was on the come up. He was going to be the next guy somewhere. Kevin Young, you kind of heard a little bit, but not as much as right now because obviously Monty's gone. So I would rather somebody else.
When you look at it too, he was in the room, so. Was Monty just not listening?
That's my
to
thing.
Things he was suggesting?
Is he bringing different things to the table and Monty's just like, nah, I'm good, thanks though? Or were they actually collaborative? And I would like to assume that they were collaborative.
I would hope so.
Like in my experience and everything, I wouldn't necessarily say that Monty was like, no, stay in your lane as to a part of his coaching staff. That would be insane to me if that came out as like a rumor or something.
And if he was a major voice, then why do you believe that gets you a different result than you currently is?
Well, I think it comes down to two things. Like, one, there have been instances where Monty was slow to relent on something that Kevin Young suggested. He talked a lot about how Kevin Young was on his case as of last season about crashing the offensive glass more, and they finally did that this season, and it paid dividends. I'm sure Young has multiple ideas as the associate coach that he might have wanted to implement if he was the guy in charge that maybe Monty wasn't as willing to abide by. That this is speculation, but the offensive rebounding thing sticks out as something in terms of an advantage. Like, yes, he was in the room, but he could also see things that he probably would have done differently if he was in the head chair that could have fixed this team's maybe some of their problems.
I also agree. I also think that, like, I when you're the head coach, especially at this level, like, yes, you want everybody to have buy-in and you want this kumbaya feel in the room, but there's a lot of times, and just think about Monty Williams himself, how hard-headed he was about, adjusting just a little bit for random things. Like, I can't imagine that it would have been any different behind the scenes. Yes, you give me your feedback, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and that's how I think Monty operated. And I definitely would not place the blame at Kevin Young. I'm not going to hold him completely responsible for that, for being in the room and not really speaking up, because who knows, he could have spoke up, and it just was ignored.
I just feel like what Gerald just said speaks to the larger problem that they were just dealing with when Kevin Young's big change and idea was we should crash the offensive glass. And Monty was like, I don't know about that idea.
Hold on. Don't get too far ahead of
rebounds.
yourself. All right. We also got, this one is not new either, but another report. This one came from Gamble, said I would not be surprised if the Phoenix Suns interview Doc Rivers for their head coaching vacancy. I feel like when we first heard the news around Doc, this was kind of just one of those natural things where everyone was like, yeah, he'll probably at the very least interview or be considered by the Suns.
What the hell are we doing? Building a hospital, a doctor, a nurse?
Boo. Boo this man. I get booed all the time.
Boo this guy. That was terrible. Lord, give me the strength, because I just do not want any part of this at all. How many times do we have to watch this movie to know that it sucks?
Oh, man.
I mean, seriously. Like,
that's aggressive.
It's not good. He's had plenty of talent to do bigger things than he has. He's an underachieving head coach. He's been that his entire career. Very underachieving. He had one good run with the Celtics. That's it. Like, we got to stop giving these retreads opportunities at high levels to continue to fall on their face. I'm done with it. I'm done with Doc. He's had his chances. He's had 4 opportunities to get this right, and he can't get it right. Stop. I don't want him on the Suns.
Doc Rivers has the most Game 7 losses in NBA coaching history. Let that sink in. You fired Monty because he couldn't get it done in deciding games, and you want to hire a guy that has the most losses ever in deciding Game 7s. I'm good with not going that route. By the way, did we miss something that Gamble was hinting at yesterday? Because he went on the Suns are looking for young, hot assistants. Kevin Young, hot assistants.
There we go.
Was this just telegraphed to us?
It was right there. Lindsay and I talked about Doc last week, I think it was, or earlier. It's ironic because Doc honestly had his best coaching year in Philly this season. But it's still, like, if you're going to fire Monty Williams, it needs to be a different type of coach, not the same type of culture building coach who can't maybe get over that hump in the playoffs anymore. I feel like if they were going to hire Doc Rivers, you should have just kept Monty and given him another year with this group. And it's nothing against Doc. I'm not as low on him as you guys are, but, like, I don't understand why you would fire Monty and then bring in Doc.
Just gonna. I mean, I can hear the presser in my head. Hey, how come you lost in the first round again? I'm like, we got to get the ball to Booker. We got to do a better job. I mean, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Oh, my God.
But going back to your hot young assistant or your hot young coach, it's JJ Redick.
We're just emphasize the emphasis is on hot.
Well, if you need both, hot and young. I don't know. It's either JJ Redick or it's Kevin Young. It's one of the two. That's it. Those are the only options. That's it.
I tweeted this, and I will say it here.
Oh boy!
If JJ Redick is the coach of the Phoenix Suns, I am going to request a transfer to the CHGO Bulls show.
You would never do that.
Yes, I would.
No,
That's how much I do not want JJ Redick as the coach of the Phoenix Suns.
All three out of 4 people on this panel think Espo is absolutely full of shit because he can request it all day. CHGO ain't taking them.
Oh, they would.
Not
remote,
he would. One day, maybe one John Paxson reference, and you would leave.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Hey, Blade, remember '93? That was fun, huh?
If the Suns are going to hire a podcaster to be their next head coach,
you're going to call him a podcaster?
Should be it.
Oh my God.
That's what we're going with.
That's what he's known for right now.
That's the title you're going to give JJ Redick.
He's not a former player. He's a podcaster.
Bro.
Unreal.
Give me a break.
JJ Redick is not the answer.
This is how you wind up in situations where you have to order a cake shaped like a shoe.
This is exactly how you wind up in.
I am looking forward to talking about DeMar DeRozan, and in the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine. Give me it. I'm in. If JJ Redick is the coach of the Phoenix Suns, I'm out.
You know what? You know what would happen, right?
What?
Let's just play his game.
Okay.
The minute Espo left to go do another show at another team on another network, the Suns would win the championship.
They totally would.
They totally would. The year
and then
he
he would be like, "Can I come back?
No,
can I call in? Somebody send me a link for that championship game." And we'd be like, "No."
Let me say this.
F you, Espo.
I am so against the idea of JJ Redick. I'd ask to go to the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Wow.
That's not even step
Bro,
down.
let's just ship him out so we can win a chip.
They might win a championship this year.
Let's do it.
It's not that it's a step down for the team, Espo. I would have to go talk about the Nuggets.
I have to talk about the best player in the league every day. Boo-hoo! That's not even a bad thing.
I kind of want JJ Redick to be the Suns head coach.
Enjoy a 38-win team with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Are you happy to be back, Espo? I think the reason why we're piling on so much is you were gone for so long. We're not
piling
we just
on.
accumulated all the things.
He's throwing lobs. We're just finishing stuff.
You want a head coach with zero experience that has been sitting there just simply screaming into a microphone like us.
He doesn't
for the last 2 years.
I don't think any of us
none of us want it.
But I think we're just not as crazy, deranged, adamantly opposed to
You have a 2-year window with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
No, I agree.
I do not want to waste that on a guy. We saw Steve Nash fail with Kevin Durant. I don't need another example of that with JJ Redick here. I need somebody that can do the job.
That's totally fair. I'm just not going to transfer offices if it happens.
I
would just stay right
Why hurt
here.
myself because the Suns made a bad decision?
Tracy is at home going, yes, I get to move home to Chicago. She's rooting for JJ Redick to be the coach.
All right.
I'm pretty sure if you want to go to CHGO, Brandon can make that happen.
Yeah.
If you guys need a break from all the chaos, come hang out with us next Friday at Dobson Ranch for our Keeping It 100 golf tournament. And our friends over at Pins and Aces, who are the official golf apparel partner of the PHNX and ALLCITY family, will be there as well. It's going to be a blast. So if you guys want to come hang out, again, it's May 26th. It's going to be nice and early in the morning. You can check out the show notes for all the details and to sign up. And you can get ready by heading over to pinsandaces.com and using code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. Again, that is Pins and Aces, and use that code PHNX. They have amazing apparel, polos, hats. They also have golf bags. They have beer sleeves. They've got cool little ball markers. They have beanies, you guys. Beanies. And they're actually really cute.
If you sign up for the golf tournament, you get your own Pins and Aces golf polo. That's a PHNX brand.
Nice.
And it looks dope because I saw it today.
Do I get it too?
You're playing, aren't you?
Yeah, so I get it.
So
yes, well, you do. Yes. And then, after the golf tournament, you could always take a little drive up to the Four Peaks Brewery, have some delightful
Or
lunch,
you can come to the tournament because Four Peaks will be there.
Well, they're going to be there too?
Yes.
How exciting.
Yes, they are.
So then you have Four Peaks throughout.
Everybody is going to be
throughout, and then you go have food, lunch at Four Peaks or dinner afterwards, you know?
Yep.
You just make a whole Friday of it. We'll plan it all out for you guys. So you know we love our friends over at Four Peaks, and you can keep up with what they're doing by following them on social media at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub, so that you make sure you're in the know of the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Now, you do have to be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask that you drink responsibly. If you're looking for something maybe a little more kid-friendly, might I recommend our friends over at Octane Raceway and Mavericks. This summer, they got some really cool stuff for you and the kiddos. So May 30th through July 31st, they have a summer engineering camp, which seems pretty cool, ages 7 through 15.
What?
And then May 30th to August 4th, they have free bowling all summer. So the Kids Bowl free program is children 15 and under are eligible for 2 free games each day.
What's that engineering camp all about?
Isn't that kind of cool? They partnered with Engineering for Kids, so they probably have some neat things that you can.
I got an idea. I think they make the kids fix the go-karts. They get that work. You can learn how to work on carts.
Camps.
You're like, why not?
God. That is not what it is.
Kidding. Joking. We love you, Octane. We're kidding.
Dear Lord, we're going to get a letter. So book some fun at this spring at Octane Raceway and Maverick. There's kart racing. There's virtual reality laser tag, axe throwing, bowling, arcades, great food and drink, and so much more. There's tons of different events going on throughout the summer, so make sure you check them out at octaneraceway.com or mavericks.com to learn more.
Chris Stewart says it's cool. Seriously.
By the way, Ben in the chat.
Engineering stuff? I believe it. I feel like that would be a blast.
I have a couple 15-year-olds. I might send their ass over there and be like, hey, learn some things.
Learn some things and then report
Good
back.
course correction.
Enjoy.
By the way, Ben in the chat says, I sound like a character from Sesame Street. So he must be new around here.
No, Ben.
No, Ben.
No.
You bring Cookie Monster out, Ben.
God damn it.
Look what you did, Ben. Ben. This is all your fault.
Sound like Lindsay at the beginning of the show.
Hello and welcome
to the PHNX Suns Show.
Okay, so apparently, did y'all realize that the Suns are one of the least stressful teams to watch this season? Well, one study has ranked them towards the bottom as far as stress levels. And we're going to talk about it here. So the team at usbettingreport.com have conducted a study to find out which NBA fans have had the most stressful experience this year based on data during the regular season.
I'm not going to cry about number one. I know that.
Before we get to number one, let's first talk about the Suns, okay? So out of the 30 teams, the Suns are ranked 25th, least stressful.
You said usbetting.com did this? Because they can kiss my ass. The Suns were not not stressful this year. I blame Gerald for this.
Why?
Because Gerald's an analytics guy.
This sounds
and
like
this
Gerald.
was analytics gone wrong, all right?
This does not sound analytical by any means.
Okay, so let me break this down
let's
for
break
you.
it down.
Here's the methodology around it, okay? So they had a couple different categories, and those categories were weighted a little bit differently. So we'll call them points, right? Or percentage. Because it doesn't add up to 100, but this is what they're going with. So 20 is based off of close wins or losses, the number of games that went into overtime, and games that you lost when you were the favorite on most betting apps, okay? Mm-hmm. Then they had 15 of the weight go towards just regular season losses in general, and then 10 towards negative comment percentage, right? So the percentage of negative comments on Twitter and Reddit about the team, and it was very specific dates between October 18th of 2022 to April 9th of 2023, okay? And then 5 points for opponent steals, opponent turnovers per game.
This is just the regular season.
Then this is just the regular season. And then total games missed by players through due to injury throughout the season. So that's kind of what
Wasn't
they
that like
used.
100% for the Suns? Was it? I mean, it was ridiculous, the injuries this year.
Well, they said the final score was given out of 100, and the higher the number, the more stressed the fan base was over the regular season. So the Suns were, again, ranked 25th with 37.5 score.
Okay.
The Mavs were number one, 60.1.
I mean, I get that. They were a disappointment. But
Then you have the Hawks second, the Utah Jazz third, the Minnesota Timberwolves fourth, and the Miami Heat 5.
Hold on a second. What in the hell did Utah Jazz fans have to be stressed about? This team was supposed to be in the total crapper this year. They were a surprise team. They were a fun team. Outside of having to live in Utah, you should have had a great old time with the Utah Jazz.
To be fair,
that's the reason why it's up there. 54% because they live in Utah.
To be fair.
To be stay mad.
Honestly, I think because of the way that the scoring system is set up with 20 points or whatever for close losses, which are games decided by 3 points, if you look at the teams that are in that top 5, a lot of them had a lot more 3-point games. Like the Suns only had 13, the Jazz had 18, the Mavs had 20. Like I feel like that is what skewed the final results, which is regrettable. Because I feel, okay, Mavs fans, I'm sure they were stressed out after the Kyrie trade and throughout the whole season trying to find somebody to go with Luka. The rest of them, I mean, Timberwolves fans, they were probably stressed because they traded 4 first-round picks for a guy who did not help them.
Heat fans were probably stressed up until the playoffs.
Yeah, they were underachieving.
But Atlanta, you got them lemon pepper wings. What do you got to be stressed about, right?
The Atlanta ones.
You got the lemon pepper Lou wings is what you really want.
There you go.
I kind of feel like they should have broken this up a little bit more. Like they put all like the wins, losses, and close games and losing when you were the favorite in the same bucket. And I feel like if they had separated those into different categories, because I could totally see losses as favorites being a big one, because when you're supposed to win a game and your team loses, that is really stressful. And the entire game, as it progresses along, it gets more and more stressful and frustrating because you're like, what the hell did I just watch? Like, you just lost to the who?
There needed to be more of an emphasis on social media reaction to me, because
I think so.
I feel like outside of the Sixers, I'm struggling to think of a fan base that was more stressful to watch games with this season.
But even the Suns' numbers in that, I don't know how they judge this, because they must not have seen any of the mentions I had when it came to the Suns in any of that. They must have forgot when they lost to the Adelaide 36ers.
Oh, my God.
And Twitter literally was a flaming dumpster fire for a week after that.
Well, it is interesting because the Suns, so on the social comment percentage, right? They 13.5%. Mavs was 9.63%. You would think that, I don't know if maybe...
So we had more.
We had more.
Yeah, so we were far more toxic on social than the Mavs
Right.
were.
And I think that should also hold a higher weight in this scale, because that's where your fan base is speaking.
Yeah.
But you know what skewed that? All the national slobbering over Luka skewed that's all positive social love. So that outweighed all the negative crap, right?
Or maybe
You're having a way with words today.
I don't care for that verbiage.
If you were just based on your experience alone, where would you rank the Suns 1 through 30 as far as stress this season watching them?
One.
Probably top 5 for sure.
Top 5?
Top 5.
Oh, man.
Yes.
This season was that stressful for you?
There was a month where they lost like all but 2 or 3 games. That was stressful. The trade deadline was stressful. Leading up to the season, we had the whole shit with Sarver.
That doesn't count. It's just regular season.
I forgot what the sexy sax sounded like after about a month.
Well, that's because we got rid of it. But look, you had Sarver drama for the whole first half of the season. You lose to a team from Australia. You wind up going through that horrible losing streak. You trade 2 of your fan favorites. Like this
Jay
was
Crowder.
Toxic. Oh yeah, Jay Crowder.
I
bullshit.
forgot about that.
Like this whole thing was so toxic for so much of this year that the fact that they're 25th is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Well,
But you know why they did this? So people like us would talk about it and mention their website.
They did send it to me.
It's because they thought they were cooking with their formula, and then the formula just doesn't really make sense. It yielded weird results.
The math was not math.
I do find the bottom 3 very interesting. So 28 is the Denver Nuggets, 29 Memphis Grizzlies,
Absolutely
and 30
not.
Milwaukee Bucks.
No, the
I can
Grizzlies
understand
were
Milwaukee
miserable all
Bucks
year.
being at the bottom.
Yeah, because they were winning every damn
Low
game.
key, I could understand the Nuggets being towards the bottom, because I don't feel
Same.
like their fan base was stressed about their team. They were stressed about the lack of appreciation for their team.
Right.
So I could see that. But Grizzlies? That was a mess for like a whole hot minute.
Yeah.
They were all afraid to be upset,
Oh my god, they were. I'm ignoring.
Saul,
that.
say something.
I don't know what's happening.
They were like us from 2 years ago when everybody else in the league hated them because they had swagger and because they were good, but they were nowhere near as good, and they talked way more shit and they got in way more trouble, and they were front runners. You want to talk about front runners on the Suns? The Grizzlies were front runners all season long.
I must have missed where somebody on the Suns was waving a gun around to make them more hated too. Like that, the Grizzlies were so damn, dysfunctional this year.
Even before all that too, like they were just not a liked team at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, we're talking about the fans and how they reacted to their own team, right? And so, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to not find a more stressed fan base than ours. I would agree with Espo in that regard. I would think we were definitely top 3 just because of the expectations. And then you get Kevin Durant and it ratcheted up, and then he got hurt. Man, I bet if you were looking at a chart graph when he got hurt, I bet we just spiked like crazy.
Yeah.
We can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Listen, while I do think this particular study is a little bit off, I do find it fascinating as a thought exercise and experiment. And I would like to see them maybe tweak some of the things and come back next year and see what they come up with. Just because it is very fascinating to kind of get this idea. And I know there's probably a ton of work that goes on behind the scenes from like a social perspective and gathering all that information and whatnot. But this could be fascinating to know if we had better math behind
Would you like an Espo story time?
Depends
I can tell
on
you
what
how
the
much
story is.
I can tell you how much thought goes in these kind of things.
Okay.
Second job out of college. I left. I was working at Channel 12. I left. I went to work for a business ethics magazine, right? They did a ranking of government ethics codes for government contractors. You know who did that ranking? Me.
Oh, yeah.
Why the hell would I do that? Yeah. I know nothing about that shit. And they're like, just make up some methodology and give each group a number. And then we're going to try to sell them business ethics training programs after they fail miserably in our ranking. That's the kind of crap that goes into these. There's not a whole lot of real methodology.
So you're saying we got bamboozled?
I think so.
Well,
I mean,
damn.
Yeah, just looking at the scoring system, I like how your response was basically try harder next year.
Be better tomorrow,
You have a whole
please.
year to be better. Get back to the lab.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Other than be better next year. You could go to Illegal Pete's. Maybe take your group out for a little brainstorming over happy hour on how you can be better tomorrow. What?
I said I'd kill some nachos right now.
Yeah, I could get down on a bowl from Illegal Pete's. They've got bowls, tacos, salads, burritos, nachos. They have a custom bar. They have beers, the strongest margaritas you will find in the Valley. And of course, happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. daily. So stop in at either their Tucson or Tempe location for a house beer bucket for you and the whole crew. That's 5 pints for $15. You can soak up the sun with a loaded burrito and a crisp beer on the patio. But make sure you go sooner rather than later, because patio season's almost over in Phoenix. So you got to take advantage of it while you can. Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. And if you are planning a road trip anytime in the near future, I know we have a holiday weekend coming up here at the end of May, make sure you stop in at Circle K to get gas, to get snacks, to get Polar Pops, everything you need for the best road trip that you can have. And right now, if you text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club, you're going to get a buy one, get one free offer on a 32-ounce Polar Pop. So you're going to save some money as well. Make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you.
Also, if you sign up for that program, they'll send you other things like 20 cents off of your gas and all these other things. Like I've been getting text messages like crazy, and it's like you get deals all the time. So it's pretty cool.
I went there for gas today, hoping to see one of you guys. I didn't see any on the screen. I was disappointed.
Well,
Amelia knows the way to my heart.
What did Amelia say?
She says, Saul, I'm going to bring you some Big Red from San Antonio.
Ooh,
there you go.
Nice.
That's why you're a real one, Amelia.
And of course, tomorrow. Today is Friday, but tomorrow is Saturday.
And some beaver nuggets from Buc-ee's.
Me too, please. Those are so bomb.
I
Bro, those things were
bag.
so good.
They're pretty good.
You came in clutch with that one. Anyway, today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. So make sure you log into your BetMGM app on Saturday so that you can claim your bonus bet that is on the house. All you have to do is log in and you will automatically receive your bonus bet. It does expire after 72 hours, so don't wait to use it. And bonus bets can only be used on any sport wager, but it's a free bet for you. All you have to do is log in. If you have not created an account yet, make sure you sign up for BetMGM. Use that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you will get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, just make sure you use that bonus code PHNX. You can check out the show note for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
All right. So a couple things from the chat real quick before we dive into our final segment of the show. Apparently, Gerald said he would make us some green chili burgers.
I literally have posted.
Eli said, when is Girth going to make his famous green chili cheeseburgers for the crew?
I mean, okay, first of all, I had posted these on my Instagram when I did get a batch of green chili from New Mexico the last time. And all of you were like, ooh, those look good. You'll have to make them for us sometime. And then this comes up in the comments, and not one of them remembers that I promised that I would make them for you guys. So I feel like if I just give it a couple weeks, you'll forget again. And
it was your promise to keep, not our promise to remember.
I don't think that's how
you
it
just
works.
didn't follow through on your promise.
Mr. and Mrs. Girth, please send some green chilies.
Yes, please.
So we can have our burgers.
And Saul said we're going to carve it into the table so we won't forget this time, Gerald. So
Shawshank style.
You are not off the hook.
All right.
We want our cheeseburgers.
Green chili was here.
All right. Since it's Friday, we're going to round out the show with a little bit of Friday fun, which means we're going to do a snake draft.
Let's go.
And today we are drafting Arizona things.
That's right, baby.
Yes, it's very broad. No, we did not set any rules or parameters like we never do.
Which means
you don't follow them even when we set
them. We didn't set them any. We've never set them.
Sean comes out of his office. He's ready.
We did a random generator for the order of this draft, and here is the way we are going. It's going to go Saul. It's going to go Espo, then Gerald, and then Lindsay.
With back-to-back double picks.
Man, all right. So there's a lot of pressure on this first overall pick.
There is.
Apparently there is.
I'm trying to think like for the greater good. How many people would agree with this take? I'm going to say Grand Canyon #1.
Oh, it's a giant hole in the ground.
I don't know. I've never done
just saying. I mean, when you think of Arizona, for a lot of people that don't live here in Arizona, I mean, the Grand Canyon is the first thing you think of.
Yep.
I've never even been there.
I'm sorry you haven't been there.
It's
I just
not
went
that
for the first
impressive.
time. I just went for the first time last year.
Would you go back?
Yeah, I definitely would. It was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like staring at a hole in the ground for an hour before you drive back.
I mean, I rode a bike around the Grand Canyon, so it's not like I was just sitting there looking.
That sounds even worse.
Damn. No love for the Grand Canyon.
I guess not, man.
I liked it when I went to visit. It was cool.
It's just really far
Mexican
away.
food. One of the best things about Arizona is authentic Mexican food.
I mean, I can't say you're wrong, but that feels more like a Mexico thing.
That's exactly what I thought. The pizza. Okay.
You guys can hate on whatever the hell you want. That's
Are we
fine.
allowing it or are we vetoing
Yeah,
it?
I mean, you can have it if you want it. If that's what
You
he
can
thinks
veto
of.
whatever you want to. I don't care.
I mean, yeah.
No, he can keep Mexican food.
We do have some good Mexican spots in this place.
We do.
You should have picked a specific one. I feel like that would have made more sense.
It's fine.
That's fine.
Espo's Mexican food in Chandler. There you go.
Oh.
Apparently, I'm going to try this place because it's nearby where the new house is going to be. He was telling me about it. Sounds good, so I'm excited.
Okay.
But okay. I mean, this can be seen as pandering, fine. But when I think of Arizona and being that I was raised in Albuquerque, the first thing I always thought of was the PHNX Suns. So I'm going to take the PHNX Suns.
I was on my list, so I'm good with that one.
You could call it pandering, but that was the first thing that I thought of when I thought of Arizona.
It was on my list, so
Okay.
I don't blame you, Gerald. I am going to do Arizona Sunsets,
That's a good one. That was on my list as well.
and I'm going to do Emma Stone.
You
Ha, suck it, Gerald.
unbelievable person,
Suck
you.
it, Gerald.
I really like how this is shaping up.
Man. I am the one that had a picture with her.
That's why I stole it from you.
Stole my
Gerald,
I
pic.
sure
up.
did.
Man. I'm gonna go pool parties.
Okay.
Like that's it. You guys
Yeah.
give me crap about Mexican.
Absolutely.
There's pool parties in all 50 states.
This is facts.
Pool
There
season.
is
No.
pool parties
Pool
in
season
all
here is
50
different, and I will believe that until my dying day. There is no pool party
because it's
like in
shorter
Arizona
because
pool
it's
party.
too hot. in
No,
the
because
summer?
pool season starts in like March and lasts until
Las
like
Vegas pool
September.
parties.
No.
That's fine, Gerald.
You
You
gotta
can have
pay
pool
way
parties.
too much money
It's
for a
okay.
Las
Yeah.
Vegas pool party.
You know, I can't. I should have taken this first, honestly, but the fact that we don't do daylight savings time, no daylight
Ooh,
savings
that's
time.
actually a
That's
really,
good
good
one.
one.
That's a really
That's a
good
good
one.
one.
Solid.
That
That's a
is.
good pick.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with two things, and I think they're gonna skew more younger.
Okay.
First, Waste Management Open.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that's
It's a good one.
definitely iconic for Arizona, and it's one of the biggest things in
That's
sports.
a good one. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about. That's a solid pick.
And then the second one, because so many athletes love it and so many people live out there and they fuck with it a lot. Old Town.
Ew, gross.
Old Town. I mean, it's extremely popular for a reason. So
It is.
Gross.
That it is.
Oh,
Espo, you're back up.
where do I go? Oh, what is so enjoyable about Arizona? I'm still not sure.
Still not sure.
Damn.
Jesus.
I'm still
This
trying
man
to
has all
figure
but
that out.
signed,
No.
put in his 2 weeks to go to CHGO.
You just
Yeah.
none.
It's probably good.
Wow.
What's good about Arizona? I'm gonna go with Monsoons.
Fudge.
I love the monsoons.
Espo, I was gonna
Monsoons.
take that.
Okay. Give me. I feel like this is still going to be available after Lindsay's
Igor in the
picks.
chat said one of the least stressful teams in the NBA. Good one, Igor.
Again, not trying to be a company man here,
Oh
but
boy.
PHNX.
no, stop, stop, not that far. Four Peaks.
Okay.
Love me some Four Peaks. Always have loved Four Peaks.
Okay.
Mountain or beer?
Sure.
Either.
Either or,
I don't
whichever
go,
one
I don't
you
go
want to
hiking,
go
so I'll
with.
let you do the math on that one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Arizona Winters because they're
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm going to go with Arizona Iced Tea.
That's from New York.
But it's an Arizona thing.
Oh my god.
Let her have it.
Bro, if
Man.
you could pick Mexican food and
That's fair.
Gerald can pick
Fair
pool
point.
parties,
Pool party season.
Get
in
off
Arizona.
my
I feel like
back.
I'm the only one that stayed in the state.
get off
That's
my
okay.
back.
Man. Okay. Give me Mill Avenue.
Ew,
That would've been a
Gerald.
great pick. That would have been a great pick 20 years
you could
ago.
Definitely have that.
Mill Avenue is a great pick.
It was in 1997.
Absolutely not. Mill Ave is an iconic pick. It still is.
It's a
Is
landfill.
it?
Stop. That's near. That's
Oh, I'm
near
sorry. That's
it.
up the street.
Espo, you're up.
Definitely not Arizona voters right now, or at least Tempe voters.
Oh boy.
I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna go real dark now. God, I'm gonna go wineries. There's some fun wineries in Arizona.
Okay. All right. Give me a chance. I think I got at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That I think you were gonna say. I was gonna say Slide Rock in Sedona.
Okay.
And then the last thing I was gonna say was golf. Like
Okay.
Arizona has some of the best golf in the country.
That's a solid one.
Can I join your draft and draft after you are all done?
Yes.
Okay, so for everyone listening who probably did not hear,
Oh yeah.
Sean is mad because he has a bunch of things that none of us have picked yet. And so he's going to join our draft at the end and draft things we didn't pick at all.
Or at least tell us what he
Yeah.
would have picked. Yeah.
Okay, Espo, you're back up on the board here.
Somebody says surprise Girth has a big chicken.
Low key, Monroe's hot chicken is on my list. It absolutely is on my
Shocker.
list.
The national forest up
Pillows.
north.
Ooh,
That
okay.
just the
National
fact that you can go
forest.
from 80-degree weather here to 50-degree weather in a 2-hour drive.
Like
That's
the
facts.
Tonto National Forest?
Yeah, any
No,
any
not
of them,
Tonto.
any of them up there. Like the fact that you can go from the heat down here to something nicer. You basically have multiple, different habitats that you can enjoy in Arizona. That's nice about this state.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like just doing hiking is kind of like vague.
You just said you don't
Gerald,
like
you said pool
hiking.
parties.
No,
You could
but
pick
it
hiking.
is no, but it is like it's not something I do personally, but a lot of people like that about Arizona.
And this is fair. They do.
Just say Camelback Mountain. No?
Camelback's too. That's a tough.
Okay.
That's a tough hike. I'll just do Sedona. Can I do Sedona?
I did Sedona. Oh, I did Slide Rock.
You did Slide Rock.
I mean,
Okay.
Yep.
I was going to take Sedona. So since you took Sedona last. Oh, maybe. I don't know. This is a tough one. I could either take Flagstaff or I want to say Havasupai Falls, but I don't think enough people know about Havasupai Falls because when I
Yeah.
had Jock on with you two, you didn't even know about it. You and
I did.
Espo. Well, you didn't know about. Well, you got the question wrong.
I don't
God,
remember.
you
the
want us
question.
to remember back to the first time
sure
Jock
do.
was on the show?
I sure do.
Holy
score.
shit.
Which you can't
4
remember. I
years
promised
ago.
to make green chili cheeseburgers. Damn.
It's either Okay, so I want to pick a place, and I love Flagstaff, love Sedona, love Bisbee,
Mhm.
but I don't know which one is more like well known.
Probably Flagstaff.
I feel like Flagstaff might be more well known than Bisbee, but Bisbee should definitely be more well-known.
Flagstaff's definitely.
I'll go with
more.
Flagstaff.
Okay.
And then that is it for us. So, Sean, you want to pop over and tell us what we missed?
here he comes.
Somebody in the chat suggests Meteor Crater.
Okay.
Another hole in the ground.
All right. My team would have been the flag, the state flag.
Okay.
Sonoran Dogs.
Sonoran Dogs was on my
Dogs.
list.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think about that one.
Baseball, just kind of, or spring training.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
spring training.
That's fair.
Ooh, I had another one that I haven't done it yet, so this one would be a pandering pick, but I've heard good things. Salt River Tubing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
fucking hate Salt River
I didn't have a
tubing.
fifth.
It's only
admittedly.
fun when you're young and drunk.
I hated it.
I haven't done it, so I can't speak to it, but I've heard it's popular.
I thought it was fun.
I do not have a fifth, though. I will say most of you, I feel like, kind of cheated your draft and saw one.
You could say high-powered AC.
You think Saul won?
Yeah, because he's
high-powered AC is
a
good
young
thing.
guy, so Old Town won it for him. You know?
Probably. And the waste management.
It's just
Waste
all
man-
Arizona stuff.
Waste
I mean, it
management was
really
a
is.
quality pick.
How is mine
The
not
people's
Arizona
open.
stuff?
4 out of 5 of mine are all Arizona stuff.
At least 4 out of 5 of mine are 100% Arizona stuff.
What's the one that's not?
You could make the argument that Arizona iced tea is not an Arizona
Do a
thing.
lot of people know that Emma Stone's from Arizona?
A lot of Suns fans know that
Suns
for sure.
fans, yeah, because they watch the Suns.
Well,
but
this is a
outside of-
Suns show, and most of our audience is Suns fans.
You know who else is from Arizona? Topanga.
Is she? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew
born in
Stevie
Mesa.
Nicks was.
Born in
Isn't
Mesa.
Like
what-
the character or the actress?
what's the guy's name? Isn't David Hasselhoff from Arizona?
No,
I don't
Oh, his
know.
daughter went to U of A.
This is-
Never
yeah.
mind, my bad.
I don't know.
he was drunk down at U of A.
Yeah,
a
I
few
looked up
times.
celebrities
Tracy.
from Arizona.
Tracy's back.
Hey,
Espo wineries. That's why you hate wine.
Damn.
I read that as wieneries, which is very.
So here, I will say, though, somebody in the chat said, and Gerald, I feel like you could have taken this one instead of Four Peaks just to get a bigger pool of just the breweries in general, because Arizona does have a lot of really dope breweries.
That's what I meant.
They have a
instead of
couple,
wineries.
honestly.
But like if
I'm
you
used to
go,
Albuquerque where there's a brewery every fucking block. So like here, I came out here. There are some good breweries out here, but there's not a ton of volume.
I feel like
honestly.
there's a lot of cool ones though, depending on where you're traveling. Like there's a cool one in Bisbee, there's some cool ones in Flag. Like,
There's a lot of tap houses, but not a lot of breweries.
Cacti. That was the other.
Oh, cactus, yeah.
Okay, that's
I
actually a
don't,
good
I don't
one.
feel like
What?
No, I think because he's not from Arizona, it's a different perspective. When I brought my friends my friend from Australia, first time she'd ever seen cactus in real life, she was mind blown.
That's fair.
Tumbleweed and
absolutely
cowboy
mind-blowing.
hats.
You
No.
picked Mexican food, Espo? What are you talking
wagon
about?
wheels.
You don't even have any feet to stand on this one.
I didn't
Oh,
say
man.
tumbleweeds and cowboy hats. We're talking about freaking cactus.
High noon shootouts.
Yes, they
Yes.
are
So they're
protected.
special to the state?
Yes.
And they're freaking
I agree with
massive,
you.
and
How
they're
about drought?
old. They're like
Drought's
they're
great about
literally like
Arizona.
dinosaurs.
You know what I think I'm realizing? I might not like our state all that much.
I don't
know,
think you
you
do.
You were stumped on the third. Like,
He
whoa.
was struggling to come up with shit in the third
Espo's
round.
like, I hate Arizona. Send me to Chicago, please.
I
and thank
actually-
He
you.
wanted to say Mesa, Queen Creek.
No,
The East
monsoons
Valley.
were actually my pick. I just couldn't remember it, so I was stalling. Is
What
why
was your pick?
when I
Monsoons.
said
He wanted
monsoons,
Oh.
I was stalling because I couldn't think of the name.
I was mad that you took that because I was going to take that.
I was thinking about taking Haboob after that, but I guess I thought,
But those
I
aren't
think
fun.
Those are kind of the same. But it's cool when you see one and you
It
don't
is
really
really-
see one. You're like, holy
It
shit, what
rolls
is that
in.
big ass
It's
dust
kinda
thing coming
cool,
at
I
us?
suppose.
It's pretty impressive.
My nephews, the first time they saw one of those when they were here on summer vacation, thought they were going to die. Like, we're gonna die. I'm like, no, you're not. It's just gonna blow right over.
That would blow me away. Like, if you imagine if you're from New York where you don't see dust anywhere.
Well,
except for
and when you
shit
see
in
the
street.
pictures too of them on the internet, they look way wicked. Where like when you're in the middle of it, you're just like, my eyes, this hurts. Stop blowing, please.
Saul just said, you don't see dust other places.
You see shit in the streets of New York. That's all I think New York is just a bunch of grime and gross shit. There's no dust.
Oh my gosh. Frank said, why did no one mention the state animal and the Phoenix Suns gorilla?
I don't know,
I
Frank.
mean, I got the Phoenix Suns. That's
We
close
tried,
enough.
okay?
I
My
don't
thing
know.
is, like, I know Sean said the state flag, and I know a lot of people were saying that our state flag is pretty cool. Maybe it's just because I've been here my whole life, and I, like, for the most part, and I grew up with it. I don't love it that much.
meh.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine, but it's not like, oh my God. I don't know.
It's not number one overall pick.
No,
Oh my God.
definitely not.
Yeah, that is his number one. I was like, wait, what?
All
Yeah,
right.
no.
Well, we might post this one on Twitter. We might not. I don't
We're gonna
know.
post
We'll
it on
keep you
Twitter.
guys
We gotta
posted.
post it on
Post
Twitter.
these on Twitter. Otherwise,
I
what
feel
are we
pretty
doing
good
this
about
for?
my picks.
I like this. Somebody in the chat, I think Eli here said the Salt River horses. You know what? That's
That is
actually
cool.
that is really cool when you see wild horses
Mhm.
when you're out there. That is neat.
Here's the thing. Let's just go back one second.
Mhm.
Tubing the Salt River is
Ugh.
only fun if you go with somebody who has a legit setup.
Yes.
Like if you go and you rent the little black round tubes and you bring like a sheet to put over it, first and foremost, if you don't bring a sheet,
You are
you are
burning your
absolutely
ass.
effed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you go and you just rent that, it's not that fun. It's
Still
actually
sucks.
kind of painful at moments.
It does.
But if you go with somebody who's got one of those big old rafts
Mhm.
that fit like 10 to 12 people, who's got a cooler built in, a
Or you just tie
boombox built
tubes.
in, and then a whole bunch of other things, that's kind of fun. I will
Yeah.
give you that. But if you don't have that person, you need to find them before you go tubing at Salt River.
Max, we apologize if you were trying to get Salt River tubing as a sponsor.
Ignore everything I said about how much I hate.
I was
We
just
love
kidding.
them.
I was just kidding.
I went last year with my kids. Well, I wouldn't say I went because when we got there, I thought because we had a lot of rain, I thought the water levels would be high. And this is something I learned last year. It is not, because when it rains, they cut off the reservoir or whatever, the dam, to conserve more water. And so the water levels go down.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
you want to go when it's not raining and it's been hot for a while and we've had a drought, because then they release water out of the dam, because a lot of that water goes to the farmers in the local area. And I did not know that. And so when I showed up, I was like, dude, this fucking water looks hella low. Like, yeah, we don't ever let it go when it rains. I'm like, that's kind of counterintuitive, but okay.
See, that was the worst part of it for me. It was because I would just be chilling in my tube and I would be trying to pick my feet up, but my legs and shins were just getting cut to shit by like rocks and anything that they would hit on the way.
Yeah.
That
There
part
was
was miserable.
The one time I went on just normal round tubes, I got, because there's like a real rocky part where it gets a little rapidy at times. I fell out of my tube and I got absolutely messed up. And I literally just grabbed onto some random person's tube. Like I was just like, this is our tube now until I can get out of
Like,
here.
get off
Look
me,
at me.
lady. Get off me.
I said, this is our tube.
She's like, who's
I was
this woman right here?
You just shush.
Look at me. I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now.
I had to though. I was getting so messed up. It was so rough.
He's like,
throw
Smacked in
some
the face
random
with a
poor-
tree.
Are you crying?
They're like,
Oh my God.
that lady
She
from
legit
the
had
Sun
PTSD and
Because
started
the real
crying.
story, she threw some innocent bystander out of the tube to save herself.
I had to grab onto the round and I was like,
No,
listen,
it's
fucker,
not that
I'm not going anywhere.
It's not that kind of a cry. It's the visual again in my head.
It's a scar and
Okay,
bustle moment.
She saw a body at the
I don't know,
ground.
there's some
No,
person.
it was so funny though. Like it was
Oh
the
my
funniest thing ever.
The best part of this is there's somebody out there that has this story that's like, that lady from the Suns, you know, the one that hit Kelly Oubre in the head? She grabbed onto my tube like a crazy person.
This is when I was in college. This is way before any working experience. But it was literally just like, bro, you gotta help me out here.
She just had her Scar and Mufasa moment.
Oh, it was so funny. Anyway.
I will murder you. Get me out of here.
I literally cried on this show from laughter twice today. Once to start it, once to end it. So I think it's time for us to say goodbye. But before we do, because Gerald will not be here on Sunday, because none of us will be here on Sunday, and he's taking Monday and Tuesday off. Happy birthday, Gerald.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Everybody.
No,
Go ahead.
You don't gotta do that.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm doing it.
Happy birthday, dear Gerald.
Join in, Lindsay.
It's not till Sunday.
Happy birthday to you and many more.
Thank you, guys. We should do a draft next time of overrated things that need to die because the happy birthday song is like number
First
one on the
overall
list.
pick.
Oh, I think number one on the list is sang a song at stupid ass Texas Roadhouse. I swear I hate those people.
They have good
Sorry if you want to sponsor us though. I love you.
We're just
kidding, I love
shooting
you.
down all the sponsors.
Guys, like, jump on this stupid ass fake horse. Everybody in the whole restaurant, on the count of 3, we're gonna give a yeehaw. 1, 2, 3, yeehaw. And I'm like, I will murder.
I mean, you got it
everybody.
down pretty
We
good.
know we're going for Saul's birthday.
It's terrible. It's awful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend,
leave my body
everybody.
when that happens.
Thank you, everyone.
Meet
in the
us
chat.
back here Monday at 3 p.m. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
I don't care what your books say. The girth started, what, 35 years ago? 40 years ago? 32 years ago this Sunday. Oi,
Squad is sitting on the chat, get involved. Rhymes say it's got flavor. Known to shine greater, glide like Tom Chambers in Bulls versus Lakers. Off that pick, I'm Devin Booker. Bringing the hot take straight out the pressure cooker. Highlight plays, stand up guys, taking the shot when the game is